Hello everyone and welcome to Samadhi at our Nature's Gathering. Today, Saturday, March 28th, 2020. And it is such a beautiful day today. Like every other day, now we really notice how beautiful our days are with this blue sky and the green and all of the beautiful colors out here in nature. I'm really sassy.
Oh, you're not. I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize, love.
Okay, so go for it.
Love the oils.
Go for it.
So thank you everybody for joining us for Samadhi with Samadhi Sea of Wisdom, like Ali said, meditation school where it's not about positivity, it's not about negativity, it's about authenticity, it's about rawness, it's about realness, it's about genuineness, it's about you. The genuine you watching this video behind the personality that thinks and perceives and judges and separates its own reality. So we want to, our intention is to remind and awaken humanity to awaken to the genuineness within them. That way they can live a genuine life and not a fabricated life, not a chemically induced artificial life that we've been living with masks and all these different, layers and veils of thinking right or wrong and all these different stuff. And instead of getting to know you and being your best friend and knowing that you are always with you, you is always for you. Anyways, before I go too much in depth with that, welcome to Nature's Gathering, Part 9, where the main guest of honor and the main featured guest is, and the main celebrity is, Mother Nature herself. Because we have forgotten the greatest celebrity because we get so focused on different celebrities, different people with their status and all that, that we've forgotten the greatest celebrity, the greatest asset, the greatest partner, the greatest relationship next to ourselves, which is nature. And especially with everything going on right now, there's a very important message flowing through us we desire to share with you all. But before we begin, we just want to welcome you and remind you to get out of your own way, because that's what Samadhi's about. It's helping humanity get out of their own way, because we're so stuck in logic and so stuck in perspectives, thoughts, that we think that's what we are, when we're really beyond the thoughts, beyond the perspectives. And when we give ourselves the opportunity to just be genuine with ourselves, whatever comes up, whatever is, just be present in that moment, then all the illusions just start to dissolve and just, melt away. And for people watching this for the first time, they're going to say, well, that doesn't take care of the problems of the world. Well, guess what? Nothing that we're doing has worked up until now. Nothing has stopped the chaos and the judgment. Even people in the same tribe, in the same religion, in the same, community, there's so much discrimination and separation because of, people thinking that their way is the best way, or they're right or wrong or whatever. And shout outs to Martin Lopez for the wonderful live last night, because that's what inspired. I mean, we've always talked about, positivity, negativity, right or wrong, but it really inspired, and Martin really embodied what we've been asking for.
You just hit it right.
It was yes, it was a beautiful platform to talk about the illusion of right or wrong, or right and wrong, because beyond all that is I am. Beyond all that is consciousness. Beyond that is awareness itself. And what we desire to really promote is the I amness in nature. And nature sees you just as you are. Nature doesn't judge you. Nature doesn't distinguish you. Nature doesn't give you status. Nature is just loving you exactly as you are, where you are. And when you can do that for you, you start awakening your inner nature, so then you start benefiting and loving that part of nature. But if you don't awaken that within you, then you're going to wait for something to happen instead of you knowing that you are the happening. Angelica Cepeda, Alice Inui, thank you for joining us.
All right, here.
Daniel Bolin, many blessings, brother. Another beautiful soul that's just joined us. Kelly Garcia, thank you for joining us. Another beautiful soul, Kelly Garcia. Thank you for joining us. Live video ended. Why is that?
I don't know.
What is going on here? when there's a lot of resistance, guys, because there's a lot of greatness.
We already know.
So I'm going to go live again as many times as I need to go live. And here we go. Instagram, we just lost you guys, and we're just, you know, determination, persistence. And I mean, that is the key. That is the key to transform your life, persistence. So we're coming back on Instagram. If this is the second video you're watching, it's because we got cut off the first one. We are on live with Facebook. Lauren Nichols, thank you for joining us. It was great seeing you. Such a beautiful soul, and Lauren Nichols, and we're so blessed to know you and share this beautiful path with you. And so the one thing that I desire to really share about, and I'll go more into depth in a little bit, but however, just to relax in the awareness that nature loves you just as you are. But yet it took a crisis for us to start taking our kids and family to nature. We forgot nature, that this activation that we're in, because we're in a shift, and it's calling us to let go. It's calling us to be still and to allow ourselves to remember who we are. Because it's in the stillness that you remember who you are. It's not in the attainment. It's not in the accumulation of more things. It's in surrendering and letting go that who you are right now is perfect and complete, whole, beautiful, divine, and magical. So, I know, Ali, you had some things you want to share. Dave Lewis, thank you for joining us.
I'm good.
Go ahead, love. I know you had some thoughts, and I desire to give you that space, because you know I can go on and on and on. Because we just love our life. We just love our life.
On all the other videos that we do, I'm really good about trying to correlate to what's happening right now, so that those people who are new, who maybe have never seen our videos, can find at least a little peace of mind somewhere, even if it's for a little bit, from all that chaos. But on Saturdays, when we're really here for nature, that is what I said in the beginning when I opened up the video, is that I've never appreciated it as much as I do now. And nature was my playground. I mean, growing up by a bay in Imperial Beach, California, yeah, being outdoors, playing in the mud. I was a big tomboy, believe it or not. And so, yeah, even though I'm such a germaphobe.
I cannot see it.
Oh, yes. My knees were always skinned. I had mud all over my face from playing in the bay and playing with insects and all that. And I'd get lost I never kept time until I heard my name, my mom looking for me, and I'm like, oh, shoot, what time is it? Or unless I got hungry. Then when I got hungry, I knew, oh, I think it's dinner time. I need to go home. So nature for me has always been beautiful, and a place where I find my peace and I find a connection with myself. And now more than ever that it's kind of funny how the brain works. We are told, oh, don't go out. Well, in some parts of the country, right, it's a lot more stricter than here. Yeah. But here in Yuma, Arizona, we don't have that strictness yet. It's mostly restaurants, bars, and not to gather, stay 6 feet away, which is fine. So coming out to nature now is a lot more valuable to me than it ever was, because how fragile that you think you have the freedom to just go to a park whenever you want, to go for a walk whenever you want. And now that's taken away from us because we're afraid of a virus. So many other things that have been out there, and now a virus is keeping everybody away. So to me, the most important thing on Saturdays with our Nature's Gathering is to really be present with nature. Our birds come and welcome us all the time. I don't hear the loud one today as much, but that's the beauty of being able to come out here on Saturdays. Every Saturday at 1 p.m.
With us.
Yeah, sometimes we have our family, sometimes we have other friends who join us, and today it's our family.
You did it again. Okay, so part 2.
And sometimes it's just Michael and I here locally, but online I know we have our dear friends that just love us so much. So Michael's over there struggling with the So if you're on Instagram, we do apologize. We do keep getting booted out, and it usually lets us go for like an hour. I don't know. So this is part 3. This is part 3 to our Nature's Gathering, part 8 on Instagram. Excuse me, part 9. Oh yeah, part 9. I wanted to share something of what you were sharing, love. That we had this epiphany, this download. We call them downloads. And the one thing that I wanted to share is that
do we think it's a coincidence? Because I think it's important that we talk about this, that there's an activation happening. People are feeling energy. People are feeling this even from the sky. The sky feels different. And I mean, even before all this happened, if you guys remember, we did a meditation for Fukushima in Phoenix, and we're bringing on Dave on Tuesday for you guys on Instagram. We're going to do our best to bring you all
Dave
on.
Parrish
from Operation Save the Earth is going to join us. And you talk about somebody honoring nature, it's Dave Parrish. Dave Parrish loves the world. He's here sharing his truth about the world, which is something that's affecting us all. And one thing I wanted to share about is that activation, that day that we did the meditation, that same day, it just was enormous with rain. I mean, just pouring. And it was nonstop throughout that whole time. And I don't remember if it was before or after, but during that whole time, when we were scheduled to do the anniversary for Fukushima, if you guys don't know about that, please message us and let us know. We'll get you caught up on that, and we'll share with you Dave. We'll get Dave connected with you, and you guys can be informed with Dave and on his YouTube channel as well, the Fuku Fighter podcast. The one thing that I wanted to share is this, though. There's an activation going on right now, and what connects humanity is our heart field. But 9 times out of 10, people's heart field are desensitized. So the normal human being, and I'm not an expert at this, but I know more or less about this, that the normal human being only feels human interaction from 3 to 6 feet. Because they haven't gone within to really stretch out that sensory, stretch out that awareness. Because the more you go within, the more your awareness goes and stretches out. That's how we serve the world, okay? So it's not a coincidence that, what do they call it? The personal distance, or what is it? Social distance? Yeah, social distancing, okay? So it's not a coincidence that the social distancing is asking for 6 feet or more away from people. Well, hello, the normal average human being that doesn't know about awareness and mindfulness and consciousness, and you're creating your reality with the way you're thinking and tapping into the emotions, tapping into the heart. People that don't know about this, they're very desensitized from how they're affecting their world. They're in the victimization mode. And in the victimization mode, we need human interaction to feel the purpose to live. Because if we don't feel that interaction, I mean, if you think about it, a baby when it's born, if it doesn't have love, interaction, Coral Seer, thank you for joining us. Hello, beautiful Vibrillionaire family. And one thing is that it's not a coincidence, this social distancing, and I'm going to get to a good point, okay? But I need to talk about what's going on so we can realize and remember what we need to do, what we can do, okay? So the social distancing is, 6 feet. So it's not a coincidence, 3 to 6 feet is your average human being that needs that connection. So like I was saying, when a baby's born, if it doesn't have love, in 30 to 60 days, it dies. If it doesn't have interaction, it dies. It doesn't feel a purpose to live, okay? Now macro that with the human being. We still have a baby inside of us. That baby needs love. That baby, it needs its love of itself, but it doesn't know that, so it looks for love in others. It looks for validation in others, etc., 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 right? So where I'm going with this is, for those of you that are in quarantine, for those of you that can't go out, guess what? Go within. Stretch out your field, connect, and unite with our hands. Hug us with your energy, because humanity needs you. Humanity is being starved from human interaction. And it's not to say that humans don't ground enough. So if we're being quarantined in our homes, this is desensitizing more of humanity, because what habits are we building? Yes, there are people that are stepping out, but more people need to step out, because what we're doing is we're focusing on fear. We're focusing on insecurity. We're focusing on not being validated, because, I even, see coaches online saying that, they're putting stuff out because they don't have nothing else to do. Because, and the thing about it is they're looking for validation. So all these people looking for validation and not validating themselves, the humanity is being starved from their source. So I'm calling humanity out, all of our brothers and sisters, to ground. And if you can't ground, and even if you can ground, go within. Even if those thoughts don't allow you to go in, just know that you're breaking through. Because those thoughts are going to tell you you're doing it wrong. You don't know what you're doing. That is the monkey mind. That is the abuse that we've given ourselves, to not allow ourselves to remember who we are, then we must work through that to remember who we are. So we can't blame the brain for attacking us. We've given the responsibility to the world, to our governments, to our leaders, and our excuse me for saying this, but our pastors, our mentors, our parents, you know, our friends. Peer pressure. There's a reason why it's called peer pressure, because it's a pressure that is something that humanity doesn't realize. This peer pressure, it feels oh, there we go, we lost it again.
Facebook is with us.
Yeah, Facebook is with us.
See who's joined us.
So one thing I want to talk about is this peer pressure, is because that's the pressure that we're feeling right now. But here's the thing: when you realize you are with you, then it doesn't become pressure anymore. It becomes a push. It becomes an inspiration. It becomes a flow that is awakening you. But if you think that things are going wrong, and I know experts will go on, if anybody watches these videos, they're going to say that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm glad I don't know what I'm talking about. Because I don't know what I'm talking about, that's why I've gone deeper. Because I've rebelled to reality, that's why I've looked deeper. Because we need mental rebels, not physical rebels. We need mental rebels to celebrate and honor what is real than real. This is real. This is realer than real, but it's still a part of something that is more vast and more amazing and more wonderful than we can ever even imagine. But the minute that we start just letting go and allowing nature to reveal itself to us, we're going to remember how loved we are, because we are love itself. So I can go on and on. So I'm asking humanity to unite with us, hold hands, unite with each other, hug yourself. Because I had somebody call me, and I need to share this really quick. I had somebody call me, which I'm not gonna, we keep everything confidential. We had somebody call us, and they said that they were falling apart. And when we seen that they were falling apart, what we want people to know, if you're falling apart, you're falling together. Because awakening is not easy. Divine remembrance is not a beautiful thing. It is the most challenging thing to do, because we've been so programmed to think that we're out there, that the minute we go inside, the brain looks for every excuse, every reason, and even challenges to put in front of us so that we can forget who we are.
So look at your messages, because we have a really nice message from one of our girls.
Enjoy.
And we have one amazing young girl who's just so beautiful in my heart, and she just keeps giving us all this love. I'll wait for Michael to see who it is. And you have a message from Coral that says, maybe wait to share after the live is over to save bandwidth, because you keep losing it over there. So Coral's like, maybe just wait.
You know what I do, I'm doing my best to share on Instagram, and I do want to honor our Instagram followers, but we're doing the best that we can. So we're going in and out, in and out, in and out. So if you want to get the full version, we are going to have it on Facebook. We're going to have it on YouTube. So stay tuned and you can go watch it later. Because in reality, time and space doesn't matter. When you hear this and you feel this, doesn't matter if you feel it next year or you feel it tomorrow. This is what we mean by there's no time and space, because you're with us right now. So just whenever you watch this, just know that there is no separation of time and space. Of course, there's a better physical, like stimulation, aware kind of thing when you can be physically present and you can interact and do all that. But what I'm saying, for yourself, there's no distance of time and space. So you can join us anytime, anywhere.
So go look at the messages, because I'm having fun over here with you guys while Michael's talking.
Okay, Coro says, hello family, Carmen M. Salcido. Thank you for joining us, Carmen. A beautiful soul and an amazing student of Samadhi, which I honor her dedication to herself, because it takes courage. It's exactly what I was talking about. Wait, you said hi, Stella, but I don't see Stella.
I do, maybe because you don't.
I don't see her.
Yeah.
Okay, hi Stella, if I don't see you.
She's sending all those hearts.
Okay, there she is. Okay. Coral says maybe wait to okay, that's what you shared about. Thank you, Coral. After the live. Yes. Let me give her honor, because I know you read it. Maybe wait to share after the live is over to save bandwidth. Oh, okay. I didn't get it until right now. I didn't get it until right now.
I read it to him, Coral. I read it to him.
I'm shifting.
It didn't matter to.
So, yeah. You know what? That is a good point.
Yes.
I do want to honor Instagram, but Instagram, we're having challenges right here, so we don't want to take away, because there is energy, being shared right here. So Instagram, I'm going to put it on YouTube, You guys can go watch it live on YouTube. But I am going to do my due diligence and talk to some professionals who know how to help me so I can be better showing up on Instagram. Because I know that there's a lot of you.
It's raining leaves.
There's a lot of you. I thought it was poop. There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you that are really looking forward to hearing about Samadhi. So blessings, everyone. We are going to let you go because we don't want to, half deliver this. So you guys can watch us on the replay, and we are going to figure this out. So love and blessings to each and every single one of you. Thank you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you, Coral, because I am going to give honor.
And so now look at Stella. Stella says, I think her finger's tired because she's been sending all these hearts.
She says, hello, I hope you guys are having fun. Oh my gosh.
Always.
and I do desire to share something on that because I do want to be genuine with what happened this morning. Ali says, always thank you for the love. Coral Seer says, that was a mental note for me as well. Right?
Yeah, there's Coral sending love.
I'm thinking I know what you're talking about, but I could be mistaken. The mental note of bandwidth? No, something else. I'm thinking of something else because I'm not feeling bandwidth. But the one thing I do desire to share with you guys is I was sharing with Ali some things that are going on currently in our reality right now. And it was very dark. It was very dark. And the thing about it is, I wish I would have found it out when I shared it with her, because she has the awareness that this is evidence. Listen to this closely, guys. This is evidence that we are so powerful that it takes all of this manipulation and deception to forget who we are. Listen closely to what I just said. It takes so much manipulation and confusion to influence us that we're not powerful, that influence us that we're not great, that influence us in the schools to believe that we're not good enough because I get a bad grade, or because I'm not good enough because I don't wear the right clothes, or because I'm not good enough because, I don't talk a certain way, or because, I'm told I'm a certain way. This is what it takes. And even then, it hasn't stopped us. If you look what has happened up to this point, it hasn't stopped us. So we're not stopping. That's how powerful our soul is. Mm-hmm. So I just want to share with you guys what happened to us this morning, because I was telling Ali, now you got a little whisper, and because I went into the unknown so dark that I got so angry that I realized I'm not contributing with my anger. I'm not contributing with my anxiety. I'm not contributing with my insecurity. How do I contribute? With my love for myself. And in my love for myself, I see the love that is underneath the layers of humanity that most judge. And when I love humanity just as they are, I'm not going to say it's easy, because sometimes we want to get upset about the littlest things. But it takes practice. And practice is in practice is the art of mastery. When you practice, you realize you're the master. But you've been practicing all the things that you think you're not good at, so you keep realizing the things you're not good at. So
as a reminder, let me just tell those that have joined us just now or are not familiar, please hashtag live if you're watching us live.
Thank you, love.
Please hashtag replay if you watch us on the replay. It's important for us to connect with you. And I also want to speak to those that are, let's say, I know someone in California who, because of this quarantine, she just recently moved. She used to be in a home with a huge yard and beautiful trees and fruit and just the most peaceful. And then now she's in an apartment. Yeah. And then now this happens. So to boot. And I know of another person who's in Oregon, and I know of another person who's in Washington, D.C., and I know of many people who are asked to stay home, that there is no choice. It's like you can only leave to buy the necessities or etc. You know the drill. My point is this, that if you are quote unquote stuck in a room, in a box, remember that you are nature. You can be creative and bring nature in. This is a time to get all those plants that you can have indoors. This is a time to bring in that oxygen and have those plants by you. And if nothing else, at least once a week through our screen, catch a glimpse of nature. Watch all the nature shows. Instead of watching the news, watch the nature shows.
Beautiful.
Put music on that has waterfalls in the background, birds chirping. It may seem like you're fooling the brain because it's not the real thing. But if you sit still and take advantage of this stillness, of this quiet time,
Yes.
of this time to go within, it will help you to grow even stronger. And this is why I say funny, for lack of words, what Michael was sharing, that they don't want people to touch anymore, like 6 feet apart, don't touch, no hugs.
Quiñones is on with us.
Oh.
Blessings, Noemi.
Another
no beautiful
hugs.
soul.
Thank you, sir. No hugs, no touching. And do you think, if you really go deep, do you think that's a coincidence that the one thing this world needs the most is to be close to one another?
Yes.
That when you're
Yes.
waking up to your inner self is not an easy job. It's not an easy task. It is one of the most challenging things you will do. And that's when you need a community. That's when you need your tribe. That's when you need, it doesn't have to be a multitude of 1,000. It could be, or 250. It could be one, just one other person who can really comprehend and know what you're going through. Like Michael said this morning with that emergency call, when someone is hurting and they feel lost because they're waking up to this reality within themselves that they didn't know existed, it can be very challenging, and it could throw you into depression or even worse, right? But what we say is just ride with it. Know that this is your time to really finally take those masks off, take the blinders off, and really look at yourself. We've done videos on being vulnerable. Go back and watch those.
Yes.
Be vulnerable. Look at yourself. The most truth that you will ever face or say is when you look in the mirror and you can tell yourself your own truth and be honest with yourself, because it starts from the inside. That way, everything else on the outside will shift, will change. It won't be the same. It shouldn't be the same. For me, the sky's never been as blue as it is now, or the grass as green as it is now. And I'm not talking just because of this virus. I'm talking about when I awaken to who I really am, that soul inside of me, not the personality that I had to adapt to so that I could survive. That was a survival mode. That avatar of me was a survivor. That's all it was. I wasn't thriving. I was just trying to survive. Now, this is me thriving. Even with everything that seems like it's falling apart in the world, I'm thriving more than I ever have. Because this, which is a brain, is not getting the best of me. Yes, sir.
You said something
yes,
key.
Sir.
You said something key that I desire for you to share.
What?
Remember that poster you showed me about the mental virus?
Oh, yes. I'm going to share this.
About that.
Okay, listen to
this. This is huge.
Now, this got me, how much stuff do we read online? Oh, my gosh. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody reads something different. But when I read this, why did it touch my soul? Because I used to be in quarantine. I used to be in depression. My go-to was crying and curling up in a ball in my bedroom and not seeing anybody when I felt that my world was falling apart because the people around me didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved, instead of me loving myself. So with that said, let me find what I found the other day. Give me 1 second, because my phone is a little slow. And this hit me, because what are we doing with this virus? What are we doing with this so chaotic world that in itself is so beautiful? I've never seen the world so beautiful in my life. My favorite song to hear on the road is "It's a Beautiful World" with Louis Armstrong. Okay.
And you know what?
So here goes.
But even as you say that, it sounds crazy when people hear that, because I mean, people are going through stuff right now.
Yes, they are. Not minimizing it.
But the thing about it is you have the capacity and the authority to tell whatever situation you're in to choose what you choose to experience.
Yeah. No, I'm not minimizing.
No, what Ali is saying, I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
What Ali is saying is she chooses to see the greatness in life, rather than choose.
Believe me, guys, to me, I don't mean to make fun.
No, I know that. I know that.
I know you do.
I just want to
clarify. But I really want to go deeper with this. Anyone out there who has suffered from depression or abuse will know what I'm saying and will feel what I'm saying. When you are locked up in here, in the brain, when you are convinced that you can't do more that you have no voice. I know that part of it. I also know the part where I wouldn't have hardly any food. I know the part where I struggled financially because I was so insecure in myself. I know the feeling of succeeding according to the world and everybody liking me a certain way, but that was an avatar.
And
it wasn't
very
really
successful
me.
in the world's eyes.
It wasn't really me. So anyway, I found
just so the public knows, just so our people know, our Vibrillionaire soul family knows, she was very successful in the world's eyes.
So I found it.
She ran 3 different businesses. She's sharp as a cookie. But one thing, does that even make sense?
I don't even know if it's
But the one thing
a cookie crumbles, sweetheart.
She's sharp as a whatever.
Sharp as a, I don't know. Sharp as a nail?
No,
I don't know.
fox.
Okay, I found it, guys. I found it. So listen carefully. Wherever you are,
And just so you guys know.
I'm never going to say it. Forget it. Forget it.
Come here. Just so you guys know, she compromised that. She sacrificed that to dedicate it to Samadhi. She has the ability to succeed in so many different realms of reality. Let me tell you, this woman right here, because I want to honor you right now.
Blah,
You said
blah,
that.
blah.
No, what do we teach ourselves?
I am succeeding. I am successful.
No, but I'm saying, just listen to me. That you have the ability to succeed in the world's eyes in different places of reality.
I already am. Just that this virus had me sit down for a little bit. But
just for the people that don't know you,
yes.
Give a little background to your successes. So you guys can see what she compromised. Because she let go of all of that. Because when we met, she was so blown away at how much she could love herself. She wanted to return that gift to humanity.
After I awoken,
she wanted to return it to
we're going
me.
to go on a tangent if I go into that. I just want to read this.
Okay, read it and then tell your story.
I'm going to read this because it's pertinent to what's happening now.
Yes.
Okay? This coronavirus has the power to destroy you. Yeah, see, of course. If it's not Michael, it's the motorcycle.
Just breathe.
Take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath.
That was a reminder.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Just center yourself and know that anything and everything that is said on here comes from the heart. You can choose to believe it, accept it, or just hear it and let it go. Don't believe everything we say. Just feel it. If you feel it deep in your heart, then you'll know. So, it says, the coronavirus has the power to destroy you mentally before it ever touches you physically. So I'm telling you, the viewer, please protect your peace, people. Please protect your peace. That inner peace, no one can take away. No one. Not a virus, not an abusive relationship, not your own inability to love yourself. None of that.
I desire to share
well, no, well, you told me to share my story, so how am I going to share?
Yeah, but just what you said right now.
I'm done.
No. I want you to share a story.
Yes, we don't want to be here an hour.
No, but it's important. I felt it. The one thing that I desire to share, what Ali just shared right now, and I'm not contradicting what you're saying.
I didn't say it. It was written on here.
I know. One thing I do desire to share is, don't think you got to protect your peace. You are peace itself. When you focus on peace, you realize what you already have. But so many people focus on protection that just the idea of focusing on protection, it causes it to for you to miss it, because you can't protect what you are. You can only be what you are. You can only protect from what's coming on from the outside. So protection is like, I need to protect myself, right? And I know there's people going through situations where they feel they need protection, so I'm not taking away from what you're thinking. But one thing I want to remind you is, you may not be in a safe situation, but let me tell you, you can read many stories, many biographies, that when people went through things, their peace awoken to such an extreme that they were good no matter what. Because your peace is who you are. So
go ahead and look and see if anybody else is on. I can't see.
I desire for you to share.
I may.
One thing that I desire to share while Ali is thinking about sharing or not is when that motorcycle went by, I could see it 2 ways or the third. Okay? The 2 ways is when it goes by, I can get mad at it because I think it's distracting me, right? And say, oh man, that motorcycle, it got in our way, it messed up our transmission, right? That's one way. I can see it another way is, oh cool, that's a cool motorcycle. Oh my gosh, isn't that engine? That's a powerful engine right there. So that's good and bad, right? Or I can see it a third way. Remembering who I am. That motorcycle came in to remind me, stop and take a breath. Because the way you look at things is how you look at yourself. So the more you can look at the things that you're looking at and see them as a reflection, as a mirror, reminding you to come back home, the more you're going to remember that this path is to remember who you are. Everything else is just noise. If you can remember who you are, then your life is going to be so enriched that you're going to be the rich in your life and enrich yourself, because you are the riches that you have been waiting for. This is the Vibrillionaire lifestyle. So whatever you're looking at, look at it the way you look at yourself. It's a reminder for you to come back home. Everything is a mirror, because we came into this world forgetting who we are. That's why it takes so much energy to remember who we are. But our main job is to forget who we're not. You've forgotten who you are, so now drop the weight and forget what you're not. Those things that you're focusing on that are causing you confusion and anxiety and stress and heartache and feeling sorry for yourself and others, let it go. Love yourself and you love the world as your reflection. But if you feel sorry for others, then that's going to make you feel sorry for yourself. But when you love yourself, you're going to love others, because everything is a process. I know that's hard to hear for a lot of people, because people think I don't love humanity because I don't feel sorry for humanity. I love humanity because I know humanity underneath the surface. I know the true identity of humanity. Well, even then, I don't. But I know more of a truth of humanity, that it took me to go through the many dark layers of myself to find the truth, or to find a whisper of truth. But that whisper is so powerful that the more you just stop and you just go in silence and you start feeling the whisper inside you, that whisper is more powerful than all these systems and all these illusions out here. And the more you can focus on that whisper of who you are, that's saying, I love you, without any conditions, doesn't add anything or take away. I love you. I see you. And I am you. When you can focus on that inner voice, it's not even a voice, it's a presence. When you can focus and just tap into a micro whisper of that presence, then you'll know what I'm talking about, or what I'm attempting to speak about. Because if you don't, it's just words. And they're going to go against every program that you think, because you're in your head. But when you can surrender and come to your heart, you're going to realize that what I've attempted to say doesn't even touch the surface of your divinity. It doesn't even speckle the greatness of your profound beingness of unconditioned awareness. And that's nature.
So with that said, let's take a moment to be silent, to just sit here with nature for a few minutes, few seconds, however long. And then with this we say till next time.
Your story.
So we can my story will be shared in another time.
Okay, tune in, we're going to share her story.
So let's just sit still. Enjoy this quiet. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Follow my heart, love.
Okay.
I follow my heart, always. You know that.
All right, there we go.
One message I have for all of humanity is you can have a win-win situation if you truly desire a win-win situation. And what I mean by that win-win situation is you can, on the other side of this, whatever this is, you know, so many people have different, you know, perspectives of what's going on right now. I don't want to tap into the perspectives because that's all mental. What I want to tap into is this is a win-win situation. So you can be on the other side of this, wherever this goes. You can be much more clear, much more secure, much more aware, much more loving, much more intuitive, much more creative, much more imaginative, much more effective, much more present, wherever this goes. But the choice is, do you desire to start today? Because you're going to move in one direction or another. But what I'm asking you to do is move in the direction beyond all that. Not left or right, but move in the direction within the center of your being. And no matter what happens or doesn't happen, you will be with you on the other side of this. Remember that. So until next time, guys, please help us, help humanity, help themselves by sharing these videos, commenting people that you want to see this video, like Ali said, hashtagging live, replay, communicating with us, signing up for groups, signing up as a private student, working on your own consciousness. That's the greatest contribution you can do for humanity. When you can contribute and collaborate and connect with yourself, then you reflect that in the world, because the world needs you. We all need you. So if you would like to join us next week and comment or even come on live or on a live any time of the week where we're going to promote this truth. We're going to talk about the truth of getting to know you. What has it brought for you? I want to interview people who have been on this path, and even if you've just started but you have some kind of testimonial of what getting to know you has done. I want to call out to our students and say, if you want to give a testimonial, that way you can help us help other people. So we want to, with all this news and all this media noise going on, because I don't know who's right, I don't know who's wrong, and really, I'm not going there. But what I know is one thing that is beyond right or wrong, that is true, that is who we are underneath the surface and layers of all these illusions, of all this noise. And that is the ultimate cure for everything. So join us as we are going to be broadcasting live every day. And if you'd like to be a part of our lives and you'd like to help us promote what getting to know you has done for you, then please, we'll bring you on, we'll talk about it, we'll break it down. We want to help humanity give themselves an opportunity, the gift of being the master of their own lives, being the source of their own life within the source, because the source is source. So, thank you for joining us. Keep unfolding the greatness that you are, and don't go by appearances, because the appearances are distraction. Go within the core of your being and be sensitive and awaken the intuition and the awareness and the clarity that's always there. Are we going to do a nature walk with them?
No, probably not.
I thought we were going to do a nature walk.
We'll figure it out.
We're going to figure out, we're going to probably do a nature walk right now. We don't know if we're going to go live, but we'll talk about that right now. If you guys want to join us live on a nature walk when we do come back, then let us know and get on, and we'll walk with nature with you. Blessings. Namaste.